G'day viewers, I've got some more scores today. Some stuff to work, doing some renovations. Electrician put some stuff aside for me. Look at that, eh? Some exit light stuff. But now I just took the battery out and tested it, and the battery's still okay. The charger still works, but I think the inverter's buggered that runs that light. But I want to see if I can convert them to LED. LED exit lights in my man cave. They prefer this style now because apparently people can't read the word exit or don't know what it means, so they just use a picture instead. Standard light, 24M. Australian brand, I don't think it's made here though. You've got two types. It tells you where the door is. It's interesting that they don't actually say exit anymore, they actually have the picture instead of the word exit. Interesting. More there. There's a CMG motor. Apparently they tested it was bad, but I tested okay in my multimeter. CMG, Chinese made garbage. Used to be I can't remember now, something Gringlis. There was a German guy who came to Australia. I think he started up his own motor shop back then. With motor repairs and stuff, motor winding, and yeah, he used to make motors in Australia. But now it's lost its meaning and now means Chinese made garbage. It used to be a good brand, this. Now Australia doesn't make motors, so it destroys them. It's a shame. I think, yeah, that's how I wired it, the same as that one there was, but these bolts, the nuts are too big. Different size, I'll have to wire it up. And run it on my single phase setup, see if it does anything, to determine if it is actually stuffed or not. I don't have much use for flange mount motors, but I can make a foot for it if it tests and runs good. I'll make a foot for it to make it foot mounted. Find a use for it. I think you can actually put a foot on this too. Bolts on there. Anyway, I can convert that to foot mounted easy enough. Use the same principle I ran that motor to run that one. We've got another capacitor. Igniter and a ballast. So I got another 400 watt ballast. Maybe I could use that for my mic. That one there, you know, put the other capacitor back on that one, off that one, because that one there all works fine. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna have a spare ballast and capacitor for experimentation. This is going to go for my mots. That ballast is going to go with my mots. As I said, haven't had much time to work in here. It's pretty crowded. Okay, got wired up in the same way I've wired this one up to test it. This one here kicks a lot harder being a smaller motor. Just gave it a quick first go on a variac and sure enough it works. Now this is a big no-no, but for test purposes this is the only nuts I can bloody find for this terminal block. Because this motor they thought it was stuffed, didn't bother putting the terminal cover and the nuts back on, so they left all the nuts off. I had this improviser putting wing nuts on there. It's going to have to find something that matches those threads to replace those wing nuts. That's pretty dodgy stuff. Anyway, it will do for test purposes. The capacitor's on there as so. Wire it up. Plug the bloody earth back in. Let's power it on. 7 amps to kickstart it. Well, there you go. Nothing wrong with that motor. I've got two good 3-phase motors for a rotary phase converter project. That's alright. Nothing wrong with that one. Capacitor's good as well. Okay. Amazing what we could do, eh? With old stuff. Nothing really wrong with them. I've got that cover there. I wonder if that'll fit. Unfortunately, I don't know where the original cover's gone to that. I might have thrown it out a long time ago. Because it worked, there always somehow get water in these. They're in a food factory and everything has to be cleaned down all the time. And somehow bloody water gets in these things. I don't know how, but this one doesn't seem to be too bad. It's a bit of moisture in there, but hasn't seemed to have cooked the motor or anything. They tested it and everything and failed to test. Maybe it failed the mega test, so maybe it will leak to earth or something at 480 volts 3-phase, but not leak to earth at 240 volts. Interesting. I'll clean it up, put a good cover on it, wire it up properly, and I'll see if I can pull the bell housing off of both ends and give it a good inspection. See what the windings are like. Anyway, see if it fits it. Shame I didn't get the original one with it. Yeah, that'll do. An Italian made motor cover for a Chinese made CMG motor. There you go. I have to run the capacitor wires to the side and just zippy tie it, and that's it. I converted it to a single phase capacitor start motor. That thing runs fine. Now I'm going to make a thing that go around that bolted on with a little leg that goes down to make it foot mounted. Nothing wrong with that. Gotta find some nuts for that too. Yep, 25 microfarad MKP volt, 250 volt, made in Germany. Yes, I've seen a lot of UV, that one. I'm going to try and get a good VFD now. But I've seen a SCW Euro drive for sale for 80 bucks. But it's a 3-phase in, not 240 volt, single phase in. SCW Euro drives are the Rolls Royce of VFDs. German made unit. They're a very nice VFD, but I cannot seem to find where I can find a good single phase one of those for a good price. They're all too expensive. I can buy an SAJ brand, a Chinese heap of crap off eBay, but they make it so complicated, the bloody program, the cheap ones. I want to get something like a Delta or SCW Eurodrive or Allen Bradley or something for a good price. At least it's made by a good company, reputable brand, at least that have good support and it's easy to set up. Some of these cheap companies, the cheap generic ones, they're good, but they're just too hard to set up. Anyway, I'm sure I'll figure it out. I know the one Ed Aussie 50 got, he took him a while to get his set it all up. But for a motor that size, I'd probably need at least a 2 horsepower VFD to get in the real use out of a motor that size. And something like that. This probably, well, a 1 horsepower VFD would be more than good enough for this one. Yeah, Chinese made garbage it stands for now. They're not too bad, these motors, but most of these, the factory consists of most of these, 90% of them are these motors, this brand. We've had about, I don't know, maybe 10% of these fail since the place was built. But that's because water's gotten into them. And bearings aren't, well, not because of bearings, but the reason why they've actually failed really is that just water, had water in them. Other than that, they're pretty good for a Chinese made motor. 6.3 kilos, 40 degrees Celsius. Efficiency, 71% efficient. Delta star connection. 1380 RPM. 1.82 amps. 220 and 240 volts as well. Compatible. Oh, there you go. 0.37 kilowatt motor. So a 0.5 kilowatt VFD would be good for this. Might be a high-tech barbecue rotisserie project for this motor. Maybe. I reckon a high-tech barbecue rotisserie. I have seen actually an induction motor speed controller on J-Car for 250 bucks. I don't know if it just does single phase and or 3-phase, but I think it's pretty much a watered down VFD. It has I think it uses same principle, but hasn't got any interface on it. You can't program it. It's just got like a bunch of switches and a potentiometer, and that's it. And it varies the speed of your motor that way. I don't know how efficient it is compared to a proper VFD. So can't even two minds about that one. Yeah. But I think a proper VFD, I'm gonna have to look at buying one. I think. Now I know these motors are good. Do I build an RPC or do I get a VFD? That's the question. They are quite handy to have a good little 3-phase motor. Anyway, I like these older ones better though. Nothing's built like those old ones. Anyway, I'll do these tests for these meters in another video. But for now, thanks for watching.